Low Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was max effort upper day. Quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please click like down below. Hate to have to run through this, but you guys don't do it. Click the like button. My first heavy single, I stopped for the day. I thought I'd get a little bit better because again, we've rehabbed the shoulder, rebuilding strength up, and my triceps just really struggled with this. And here's what we've noticed with all my pressing and stuff. Range of motion doesn't impact my pressing strength. Bands versus chains doesn't impact it. The best PRs I've hit raw have been just as good as my lockout work. Off the buffalo bar, right? So before I had the shoulder issue, which we're rebuilding up from, and I'm not quite at that strength level again. I hit my best lift with raw weight with the buffalo bar, which should be harder because it's more range of motion. I don't get anything out of bench blocks. In other words, if I use a one board or whatever, or a two board, I'm not really any stronger than I am off the chest. Mainly tricep for me. I mean, to some extent delt, but tricep for me. Now, that doesn't mean we don't keep working the bottom position, but it's tricep, and we saw the tricep straining there. And I felt my shoulder inflamed just a little bit, and it's gone now. Why? Because I saw my bar path and I felt my bar path drift in the direction of the triceps were struggling, and it puts more stress on the delt. Okay, tricep, tricep, tricep. It's going to be the name of the game. And I've already said I'm going to cut out overhead pressing. We're going to come in and just do large volumes of close grip variations, J-arm press variations. I did feel like today, though, I need to back down the amount of band work I'm doing for band press downs, because I've been doing like 30 sets a week. Especially like last week or more. Now I think I'm going to cut them down, quit doing them for restoration, and I'm just going to do them on my upper body days again. So I can focus on the J-arm press really, really hard. So I can keep my elbows healthy, get that little bit of extra tricep work. So I'll do about 4 or 5 sets today. All right? And then my triceps will rest in between. I'm doing so much Metcon and restoration work and everything else. I really don't need it. It's fine. So we need to focus on what we know is just going to keep that bench coming up, and especially my close grip strength. Close grip variations, J-arm press variations. Today, I just kind of wanted to see where my baselines are with them, so I did no chains, no bands, no weird bars. And I try to just do 5 sets of 10 with 235, and I've already said, what's a goal that I need to reach? 255 for 5x10. Let's set that as a goal. I couldn't quite get 10. I think I got like 9 and 9 on the last 2 sets. I got 10 on the first 3. And then work capacity faded. I've got to just hypertrophy the muscles of the close grip. So today it's like I thought about, well, since the triceps are weak, I could do chain work. I could do board presses. I could do any of that. But I'm like, no, today let's just mess with this. And if we get weaker at the bottom, I've got the buffalo bar to do the close grip work. I've got the McDonald bar, which I can put boards on. I can hook up the bench blocks to it to make it not as aggressive. If I want to just adjust the range of motion and add 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever I need to add to the range of motion at the bottom, we can do that. The beauty of having all the stuff that I have now. Now I'm going to hammer this stuff, and we're going to work triceps. We're going to work lats, upper back. Obviously, delts and pecs matter, but again, we can do close grip work. All my speed benching helps with all that. So it's going to be tricep oriented, which is going to be combinations of close grip variations, J-arm press variations. But yeah, I've started running out of steam on these. I got really fatigued, started running out of steam. Realized that's all I had. But you know, by that same token, even though we might say, well, is this enough tricep work? It's just 5 sets of close grip, 5 sets of J-arms done twice a week after MED. Yeah, that's a ton of work. And a little bit of bend presses later in the same day will help with the tendons, help with the blood flow, and it'll give me a little more tricep work. Particularly the lockout. And some of this, I mean, I look at this and go, man, I really am worried because of the lockout. Shouldn't I be doing chain work on everything? And a lot of times I will do those things, but I think I need to have times and workouts where I just run straight weight. Okay, like today. Like today. You know, same with that J-arm press. You know, now I could take this right here, and I could look at this and say, hey, you know, the close grip, I could probably do it with some football bar. Maybe I should go over to a football bar, and I might do that just to get more tricep. Because, you know, part of it, I thought about the board work. or the chain work. And I'm like, I could totally do that, right? But I don't get anything out of the boards, meaning I'm not any stronger. I don't know that I would get more workload at this juncture, because I don't lose any strength by touching the chest. In fact, if you look at these, I'm not any stronger on this than I am on the buffalo bar. I'm not any stronger on this versus the buffalo bar. I have no issues popping out of the bottom, and that's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger the more I develop my lats. And the more of this work I do for hypertrophy, my pecs, lats, everything else are going to get stronger. I'm going to keep getting more powerful off the chest. I got to just keep hammering those triceps. That's what's going to be my make or break point for me. Also, you guys notice the safety straps, slings, whatever we want to call them, my safety strap system there. Again, that's going to bring a lot to the table for my training. We're going to do some fun stuff with some of that over time. Although one of the things I did with it today didn't go as well as I wanted. And that's okay. We'll adjust it next time. I think I'm going to just need to use my even foam pads as blocks. But 5 sets of 10 on this. Now, the first set felt a little easy, so I added 5 more pounds. So what do I need to be to add on these? You know, if we talk about getting to, 1 or 255 for 5 by 10 on the close grip pressing, right? Because we need to be there, just like we need to be at 550 on the glute bridge. We need to be at 405 on the good mornings. Okay. We look at that and say, okay, that's well and good, guys, but how do we get there? Do we get it just by close grip pressing? Probably not. We need that supplemental lift to bring the close grip up, and that's going to be this JM press. So 140 today, and they were challenging. The last set was challenging with this weight. All right, I need to put another 15 pounds on this. Okay, if we want to put 20 pounds, and technically it's more than 20 because I couldn't quite squeeze out the 5 by 10 at the end. If I want to put 20 pounds on the close grip, I need to put 15 pounds on my JM press. Okay? Yes, we can look at it that way, and it is like that. This is, again, goal setting and programming on conjugate. We set strength goals on all these lifts, but it's not always 1 rep max strength goals. It's 10 rep maxes, whatever, 15, 20s. I'm going to do 10s. I do this for a lot of my lifters, my clients. We do the same thing. We set strength goals. Because I know that if I can go up 15 pounds for the same range of motion on a 5 by 10, right? If we can go up 15 pounds on the 5 by 10 on the JM press, I'll get that extra 20 pounds on the close grip. Now, we may rotate bars, we may rotate bands, chains, whatever. We have to do reverse bands. We'll get there. And I could argue with the close grip pressing because I need so much more tricep. Maybe the football bar might be the tool that I need to use for a little bit, right? If we get weaker at the bottom, we have the other bars that give me deeper range of motion. And the only reason I say the football bar is because it works a little more tricep. Easy on the shoulder joints, works more tricep. Much of the reason we'd run chains or we'd run the bench blocks, but I don't really get carryover as far as weakness off the chest. So those may not be my best options. They could be. I might want to consider messing with them. But we have all these different tools. Let's find the best tools to use. And some people will see this and they'll be like, Jason, why are you doing a bench? And I've had that happen before. It's ridiculous. Why are you doing a bench and not touching your chest? I'm like, because I can't touch my chest. It's not above my chest. If I were to come all the way down, I would drop it in my throat. This is a JM press. It's a combination of a skull crusher and a close grip, for those who don't understand. That bar is not above my chest. And it's one of the best tricep movements you can do. It's just rough on the elbow tendons. These, I felt good with the strength. I kept struggling with the straps. I had issues with the straps, and it's because I tried to use the slings and there's no bar roll. I need that bar to be able to roll so I can wrap those straps tighter. The straps were too loose. And loose straps don't matter as far as your grip goes. What do I mean by that? Your grip doesn't affect it. You could have the strongest grip in the world, but if you're trying to grip a loose strap, it's going to slip. Straps to do anything have to be tight, and I had some issues with that. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe roll it over onto my Eva foam pads next time. That might be the way to go, so that we just have it elevated, wrap my wraps around there, and then pull that way from blocks. But I went up on weight on this, and I was going to try to get 5x10. I got to the fourth set, and because of the rewrapping and everything, I just felt like I ran out of steam. Like, that first set was good. Like, I handled that weight well. But then, the later sets, I'm having to restop and try to re-roll the straps up. So I need to get the straps sorted. I still got good stimulation from this. I got a lot of shoulder work today. But the goal needs to be to get to 5x10 with this weight. So we'll get that next workout. What's our goal for this? Well, this is 185 for sets of 10. Realistically, let's get to 205. I mean, I say 225, but let's get to 205 first, right? So first we need to get to this weight for all 5x10, and then get another 20 pounds on there. Bring my whole shoulder girdle up, right? And this is one of these exercises you probably need to research a little bit before you jump up and do, guys. It's one of those you should probably know what you're doing a little bit, because it's different. It's a phenomenal lift. But I've even assigned this to some of my clients, and then they're just doing it as a cheat upright row. They're not putting the bar into their hip crease, right? And they're not using that hip drive to explode it out of the bottom. They're just jerking and cheating, and that's not what we do. You're not using torso swing to do that. You're actually using hip extension. And again, Olympic lift variation, this is one of the low skill variations that they use for Olympic lifting. It actually can help build your snatch really, really effectively. But amazing shoulder movement, and that's what I'm using it for. I'm going to use it as a primary shoulder builder. Now, does that mean we're going to stick with this exact version of it all the time? No. Nope. We may not stick with this exact version. We may hook bands, we may hook chains over it. In fact, we probably will. But on the last set, I didn't quite get my 10. I'm having to rewrap, mess with other stuff. It became problematic. I think this is the third set. Yeah. And I had to do that and get to my 10 reps because it was unwrapping. So, again, an explosive movement. A lot of the movements I do are going to be explosive in nature. You get my upper body more powerful, get it thicker. But I'm putting a lot more priority on lats and upper back. All that stuff has to come up. Even I'm going to go back to more bicep work, which you guys will see at the end here. I need to make sure that my rows get stronger, and I need my biceps to not be a weak link. And I took a week off from bicep training, didn't I? Other than rowing, because I was getting burned out by it. I'm like, okay, I need to get back in and do it. Need biceps to be bigger, to both increase my rows and to give me an extra cushion at the bottom of the bench. But yeah, this set is just, I couldn't get the straps right. They were loose no matter what I did. And it's the issue of not being able to roll them up because the bar can't spin freely when it's on those slings. And that's okay. We'll make it work next time. Some of this has a learning curve with a lot of these lifts. People will say, oh, I can't figure these things out. And it's like, I have to figure them out. I mean, if I can figure them out, you can figure them out. In fact, I'm going to come to one that annoyed me in my comments, in fact, to the point where I banned morons. Guys are like, teach us how to sled drag. Let me make this very, very simple. If you can't figure out how to sled drag correctly, the sled won't move. It just hurts your back, and you won't be able to move it. There is no technique to a sled drag. You just drag a sled. You lean forward and you drag it. There's only one correct way to do it, and you figure it out the first time you try. And if you can't figure it out, then the sled won't move. It'll just sit there on the ground until you figure it out. And if it takes you an entire day of pulling on the sled to realize you have to lean forward and pull, then you'll finally figure it out, and you'll know everything you need to know. Anyone with common sense can figure it out in 5 seconds. Trying to get the chains were really a hassle today because they were hitting my feet, getting caught under the plates, trying to find a way to adjust them to do this, and it's I've not been happy with it. I have some extra ideas of what I'm going to do. I ended up putting them on the ends today, but again, it's a lot of chain weight, quite a bit of chain weight. And I think when I put the other chains on at the end, it was something in the range of, oh gosh, it's because it's 34 pounds for each set of those chains for the main ones, and then the other ones are 4.5. So realistically, what are we looking at? 68 pounds of chains here, but then if you add another 9, it's like 77. So it's a lot of chain weight, fair amount of chain weight. But I had a lot of issues with it bouncing and hitting my feet, which was really uncomfortable. I want to be able to do these. I like the bands too, but I need to be able to rotate through these movements. So there's going to be a little bit of work in figuring this out. It's going to be a little bit of work in figuring it out. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. And I might stick with more of everything on the ends. I just don't like having to use all those collars. It just seems ridiculous. That's kind of the point where those silly collars that people hook up for chains would actually make sense. Right about there would be about the spot where they would make sense. Yep. And then I can just hang them all off of one hook over on the ends. And I might need to do that. Might be an option. But we did 5x10 on these today. And I think that's what I'm going to do for all the workouts, 5x10. Again, and rotating bars as needed, bands, chains, whatever we have to do. The same thing on most of the stuff, 5x10, 5x10, 5x10. Unless I need more reps on certain movements. We get really good volume, really good hypertrophy off 5x10. So it works. And since I'm going to cut down to a little bit fewer overall exercises, go to just a few basic ones, we need those extra sets. Since I'm not going to do multiple types of chest presses or overhead presses, 5 sets. Anything with all these rows. I might as well get 20 sets of rows in every week. You know what? I need my back and shoulders bigger. Those snatch grip high pulls, I need to take those up to 5 sets. I just got to be able to get there with that weight. Then we did curls, strict curls. Picked a weight I could get 5x10 with. Picked it about right because the last set was hard. And I managed to squeeze out an 11th, but it was pretty grindy. So, again, some strict curls with the straight bar. Now, I may start doing some of the strict curls with my back against the thing, just like strict curl competition. And that can be a variation I work in. Okay, so that we get good at the strict curl. It's a contested lift in powerlifting. I'll never be good at it. You'll say, why? It's too much leverage. You know, people will talk about deadlifts being a leverage exercise, and I laugh. Because this bodybuilding bros will say that. I'm like, and curls aren't? Curls are the most genetic, leverage-based exercise you could possibly imagine. Like, no big barbell movement is even close to the leverage differential from person to person on a strict curl. Okay? Think about it for a minute. You don't have multiple joints moving. Your forearm length, your arm length is everything as far as the moment arm there. Okay? I got long arms. I have long forearms particularly relative to my height. So, you know, strict curling, I will probably never be great at it. But, you know, we could stand to do it. We could use the extra bicep. Again, if for nothing else, stabilizing on the bench. Again, people love that word stabilizers. Don't they? Everyone says, oh, taking stabilizers out or working stabilizers. And it's like, well, could you be specific? What do you mean stabilizers? Do you know what they are? They have names. And the biceps are a bench press stabilizer. They're one of the stabilizer muscles. And that shocks people because they're like, oh, because they're thinking of stabilizers as these weird muscles that no one knows the names of. They're just some smaller muscles somewhere in the body. No, they're normal muscles that are primary movers on your other lifts. A lot of the stabilizers on your benching and your pressing are primary movers on a lot of your pulling, right? Yep. I hope people understand that. So again, we'll do the bicep work on these days. We might as well do it. Get all that rowing and pulling up. Help protect them from bicep tears on the deadlift. All right, so how'd the workout go today? Everything else was good. Happy with all the supplemental work other than the straps on the high pulls. The bench I would have liked more today, but we called it because I knew I was not going to get more. We have to keep working those triceps. I got to keep getting stronger. Now that we've rehabbed the shoulder, got to get everything stronger. So overall, good workout. Tomorrow will be max effort lower day, so you guys get ready for that. So I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.